Hello again. To further continue in this chapter, in this lesson we are going to discuss about the various diagnostics and access control, including seed key and authentication. All right. So this is a very important lesson. I request all of you to pay extreme attention to this particular lesson. In the context of vehicle diagnostics and onboard diagnostics, secure diagnostics and access control are essential to protect critical vehicle systems and data from unauthorized access, misuse, and manipulation. Okay, so you have to ensure none of the data is going to unauthorized people. Okay, no unauthorized person should have access to the vehicle data, and these mechanisms ensure that only the secure diagnostics mechanisms ensure that only authorized tools and users like OEM authorized technicians, service centers can perform sensitive operations like ECU, reprogramming, configuration changes, or reading proprietary data. Okay, so two key concepts in secure diagnostics are secure diagnostics overview. Modern vehicles use secure diagnostic protocols to prevent unauthorized access to ECUs, to protect intellectual property, safeguard safety, critical and emission related functions. Now, as I said in the previous lesson, the importance of emission relation function cannot be overemphasized. This is very million times very important, and ensure cybersecurity compliance with standards. Example ISO 142292, ISO 26262, ISO SAE 21434. These are all the various standards that ensure the cybersecurity is perfectly compliant. And also, secure access is typically required for ECU firmware updates, calibration and coding, configuration of safety features, reading or writing critical data. To achieve this, protocols like UDS, Unified Diagnostic Services, support security access mechanisms primarily implemented using seed key methods. Now, what is the seed key methods? We will read about it elaborately in the coming slides. Now, access controlling using seed key authentication. So, seed key is a challenge response authentication scheme used in diagnostics to verify the identity of the diagnostic tester. To put in a very simple language, you give a particular impulse, and depending upon the authenticity or correctness of the response, you immediately decide whether the user is authentic or not. Okay, now there is one diagram which I want you to see. This is the standard diagram which is used in diagnostics. And what is the process flow? First process flow is request to seed. The diagnostic tester sends a security access request to ECU. Okay, using 0 by 27 security access service, asking for seed random challenge. Next is to receive seed. ECU responds to seed value. Third is compute key. The tester uses the proprietary algorithm shared with the OEM to compute the key from the seed. Understand the sentence carefully. The tester uses a proprietary algorithm. This proprietary algorithm is developed and owned by the OEM. Okay, so and this proprietary algorithm is compute the key from the seed, and next the tester sends the computed key back to the ECU. All right, this computed key, which is output of the above step, is sent back to the ECU, and ECU checks the key. If it matches its expected result, it grants access to secure diagnostic function. So hope all of you understood the necessity and the meticulousness that is imposed to understand the authentication procedure. It is only when the ECU acknowledges that the seed key is matching the expected result, it grants access to secure diagnostic function. Now, coming to the access granted, it is only after the ECU acknowledges the correctness of the key, secure services like routine control, write data by identifier, ECU reset or programming, or enabled for session. Now, coming to security access level, there are multiple security levels, each protecting different ECU functions. All right, and each level requires a different seed key algorithm. Okay, now security, we will see in this table the various security levels and purpose. Okay, so level 1, it gives access to calibration and basic configuration. Level 2 gives access to coding and parameter programming. Level 3 gives access to reprogramming and flash updates. And level 4, OEM and production only, and especially example like immobilizer. Okay, so beyond the secure, now seed key is quite secure. Seed key itself is like a very important authenticity verifier. But having said that, there are further enhanced authentications which are needed due to the limitations of the traditional seed key. Example, reverse engineering risk. Newer ECUs implement encrypted communication, public key infrastructure, and digital certificates, secure bootstrapping and authentication tokens, challenge response with asymmetric encryption, and OEM backend authentication servers from online validation. So these are the further steps. These are the further steps. I request all of you to note down these steps in a piece of paper and search these things in internet, because each and every sentence, public key infrastructure or secure bootstrapping, is a huge topic in itself. And I guarantee you that you will really enjoy learning about these things. These are really exciting topics, and I assure you that these are going to excite your learning. Now, to further protection mechanisms in security access, to prevent brute force or replay attacks. Okay, sometimes unauthorized hackers can even use mechanisms like brute force to hack into the system. Okay, first mechanism is time delay. The first mechanism or protection mechanism is time delay, delay between wrong key attempts to deter guessing. And next is lockout counter. ECU disables access after n wrong attempts. Now this is something you see in your laptop also. For example, after 3 consecutive times you enter the password, wrong password, then the laptop or the Gmail, it stops you from immediate attempting. Next is key expiration, and access expires after a set time or session. And seed uniqueness. ECU generates different seed every request to prevent replay attacks. Okay, so relevant diagnostic standards. When it comes to relevant diagnostic standards, first is ISO 14229 UDS defines a security access service. ISO 14229-2, it defines a transport layer, CAN DOIP security. ISO SAE 21434, cyber security for road vehicles, system level security. And ISO 26262, functional safety and security levels may tie into safety critical actions. So these are all the relevant diagnostic standards. So to summarize, to secure diagnostic restricts access to sensitive ECU functions, seed key mechanisms. This is a challenge-based response using seed and key, and multiple security levels protect various diagnostic functions depending on sensitivity. Modern enhancements, use of certificates, encryptions, and PKI. Public key infrastructure to strengthen security, and industry standards like ISO 14229, 21434, they define the secure diagnostic protocols and practices. Okay, so hope all of you got a decent idea about the seed key mechanism and the various types of counter mechanisms that are implemented to prevent unauthorized access. Thank you.